Hello, Steve White, Steve White's 89. Well, finally, the long-running drama that is Zack Snyder's Justice League is finally coming to an end. We actually have a date. March 18 is when it's actually going to show up on HBO. Now, this thing has just been just an ongoing drama. First, there was the politics while they're making the film. Then there was Zack leaving and why he left and who was taking it over, how they handled it, Josh Whedon's version, how much was reshot. Was it better? Was it what ruined the film? Did they save the film? Was it a dud in the first place? Blah, blah, blah. There was all that. And then there was the rumours that there actually was a whole bunch of the film that was shot and that Josh did reshoot and change the film. It wasn't just about finishing the film, they changed it. And this rumour that there was a Snyder cut, and the Snyder cut, release the Snyder cut. And for a while there was disputes as to whether the Snyder cut even existed, let alone was it worthy of being able of being salvaged. Was it worthy of being salvaged? Would fans be interested? Would they be able to actually make something out of it? And then the issue was like, would they allow it to happen? Like, would they undermine their already released film by releasing another film, basically saying, well, we could have done it better the first time if we'd stuck with the first director and here's his version. But then other people were saying, well, they want to make money. There's another version they can make money off too. So there was this whole debate, would it happen? People were still denying that it even existed, which was kind of weird. I believed it existed, just for the record. And eventually it finally came out that it did exist, and then they're talking about doing it. And then it was like, what format is it going to take? Is it going to go into the cinema? Is it going to be on HBO Max? Is it going to be exclusive to HBO Max? Is it going to be just a film and just a different version that's like the same length but just a different version, a different edit? Or is it going to be some giant opus, some big epic? Is it going to be a 3-hour movie? Is it going to be a 4-hour movie? Then there was talk it was going to be a TV series. They were going to cut it into 4 1-hour parts, or they were going to cut it into 6 episodes, or they were going to film more and do a lot of reshoots and film extra scenes and parts that weren't filmed to finish it off and make it into an actual TV series, miniseries. It was going to be like 6 episodes or something, although they just seem to shorten the length from what people talk. But this is, I think, mostly conjecture and people making stuff up anyway. You can split 4 hours into like 6 normal TV episodes, like 40 something minutes. And then they were talk, like I said, was they were actually filming a lot more. And then finally it's been revealed it is in fact a 4-hour movie. So they've kept the original version intent of the film, and they've just expanded it, and they're basically giving us everything instead of, because the original film wouldn't have been 4 hours long, so we're getting more than we would have, and it's obviously going to be different from the other film, and it's happening, and it's got a date. So it's just been bizarre to watch this whole thing slowly develop from the original dramas with the production to the release and the failure and the criticism, and then this, because this happens a lot where people sort of say there's another version, like the Star Wars films. There's, there were all those alternative scenes and different scripts and different versions, and different people did different versions, and they picked one in the end that no one liked, and there's still this other version. This often happens with this, where there's hope given and where it's actually based on reality, because sometimes these things happen. Like, look at Halloween 6. They did reshoot about 45 minutes of that film, and they re-edited and made a whole new film. Exorcist, The Beginning. They've basically filmed 2 films, and they both eventually got released. So it can happen. It does happen. What was another example that I was going to mention? What was a good one? It's gone. But this does happen. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Other times it's not. It doesn't always work. There's plenty of TV films that were made and then put onto TV in the 80s, and they just threw all the deleted scenes in and made them into an extended version. And there were reasons why the scenes were cut out of the film, because they didn't work. So that doesn't always work. And then you have the low-budget ones, like when they redid Star Trek The Motion Picture and added 23 minutes in. They left a scene in where the effects weren't added in, so you could actually see the edge of the sets and everything of where the Enterprise was supposed to be in space, and it was just... This is obviously not going to be that, but there is a precedence of them making things worse, screwing up, and not doing what they should have, could have. Hopefully they've put the money and time into this and done it properly, and we're not going to have any rubbish like that. We're not going to have bad CG or scenes that are missing because they couldn't put the CG in or wouldn't spend the money on it. There's so many things that can go wrong, but so many things that could go right with this. So I don't know, I guess the whole point of this video is we finally have a date, we finally have a format. It's a feature film length film. I now can't remember, is it going to the cinema and HBO or just HBO? Yeah, because the talk was they're going to release it in the cinema and also release the cinema version on Blu-ray and DVD, as well as having the TV version, the miniseries version, which I'm guessing would be longer and a different edit, or just expanded, was going to be on HBO Max, and that way they could try and maximize all the different formats. But it looks like they're just going to do movie length, and the only issue is, will it get the Wonder Woman treatment, or will it just be on HBO Max? I don't know, because they're really trying to get HBO Max's numbers up, which they really need to work on. Wonder Woman gave them about 41 or 43 million subscribers, which, you know, she's wonderful, so why not? She's a wonder. But yeah, I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Can you sit through a 4-hour film? That's the other thing people are freaking out. I think they were okay with the idea of getting it all in pieces and having the time to really absorb it. But actually sitting down and watching it all in one go as a film, I mean, Titanic was 3 hours and it didn't feel like it because it was great, but will this be great? Will it feel like a 4-hour film? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Yep. I'm just glad it's happening. It's got a date, and I think they should just do this with every film. Every film, if there's extra footage, alternate takes, things that's like Solo, finish that off. Show us the version of that before they fire the directors and refilm 70% of it. Just why not? Just have 2 versions. Have the director's edition, have the producer's edition. I don't see the problem with it. If people don't want to watch it, they don't have to. If they do, you know, it expands everything. I'd love to see some Star Trek expanded, but I don't think, unfortunately, I'm a huge Star Trek fan, but unfortunately they didn't sort of mess around a lot with them. There wasn't a lot of revision like with Solo and Rise of Skywalker and that, so yeah. But yeah, I'm a bit stuck on this actually. It's a bit of a rabbit hole, but I really have to stop now.